to talk to you about something I think is very important: worker safety insurance coverage. Most people my age don't know anything about WSIB. In fact, many adults know very little about WSIB coverage and how it affects them. I know this very well because of my mother, Mariam Nazemi, who many of you know. 8 years ago, she had a serious spinal cord injury from her work as an early childhood educator. Her injury has kept her from working ever since. My mother assumed, like many other workers in Ontario, that she should receive some compensation while she was recovering from her injury. But she was shocked to find that she did not have any coverage. Her employer had not contributed to WSIB. You see, the law in Ontario does not require all employers to pay into WSIB. This leaves over 1/3 of Ontario's working people without any coverage. Over 1/3. That's a lot. And it's not just the injured person who is affected by this. It is their families too. I know this very well. My parents did not want me to see how troubled they were with financial difficulties, but I knew. We had to move from our house to a smaller apartment. My dad was hardly ever home because he had to work 2 jobs. My mother was in so much pain all the time, taking many expensive medications, but she always looked after us with a smile. I've learned from my mother and her friends that ordinary citizens can make a difference when they work together. One voice may not be heard, but many voices speaking together will be heard. I am proud of my mother and all the injured workers who, despite all difficulties, work day in and day out to make changes for a prosperous system for everyone. Many businesses that are not contributing to WSIB coverage employ a high number of new immigrants, many of whom are women, and many who are not yet fully trained. They will do almost anything they are asked of, doing whatever it takes to put food on the table for their families. Many of these employers don't even have strong English skills and are not able to speak out when they are injured on the job. Not having any knowledge of their rights and expectations in our society, they suffer silently while employers abuse them with impunity. My high school is one of the biggest high schools in Toronto, over 3,000 students. And almost all of them know nothing about universal coverage in regards to workers' compensation. Even my teachers are unaware that teachers in private schools are not covered by WSIB. The majority of the teenage population will go on to pursue a higher education. Many of them will graduate, get jobs, and start raising families. But do they know the consequences of not being covered by WSIB? If they are injured at work, how will it affect their family, their financial situation, indeed their whole lives? Why are there no educational programs that can prepare us when we leave high school? It seems very obvious to me that the laws about WSIB need to be changed. I think it must be obvious to everyone, including Mr. McGuinty and his government. The majority of other provinces in Canada have universal coverage. So why is it so difficult to make the necessary changes here in Ontario? Why is it so difficult to do the right thing? This is not a political issue. This is an ethical issue. There is no reason to exclude 1/3 of our province's workers from WSIB. The government shouldn't need to procrastinate. Let's not wait another century to act. Coverage must be expanded to include all workers in Ontario. Cover us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nikki. It's always important to see the other side. When we look at injured workers, we only look at them, but they also have families and children that suffer with them. So thank you, Nikki. At this time, I'd like